Hi YouTube, it's me Kieran, blah blah blah, random stuff I usually say in the intro. Who cares? Because we finally reached my favourite film of them all in the Things You've Missed series. It's time to point out all the things that you missed whilst watching Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I just realised that means it's time for me to point out loads of issues with one of my favourite films. Whose idea was this series?
It was yours.
Oh yeah. Much like I was, many book fans were looking forward to seeing the return to the big screen for the popular house elf Dobby, but were disappointed with the outcome of him being cut out completely and being replaced by other characters in any important scenes. However, it turns out Dobby was in the film, it's just you would have to look very close to recognise him. During all the ruckus in the build-up to the Quidditch World Cup, there are two house elves who come across the screen riding on llamas, and one of them looks exactly like our best mate Dobby. Of course, it is possible that the special effects team just based the look of these two house elves off Dobby in order to save themselves time from having to make an entire new face. But I don't care, because two house elves riding on a llama is the coolest sentence I have ever said. It may not have been until the final two films where we were introduced to the Deathly Hallows symbol. However, this clock that Dumbledore stares into might just be foreshadowing the importance of the symbol. When Professor Moody is teaching the kids about the unforgivable curses, he spells unforgivable wrong on the blackboard. Unforgivable should not be spelt with an E, and this is why it's a problem that they don't teach English at Hogwarts. Alistair Moody. Ex-horror, Ministry Malcontent, and your new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. Also incapable of writing at a 4th grade level. Any questions? Michael Gambon admitted later on that he saw no point in reading the Harry Potter books, so throughout his entire time of playing Dumbledore, he never read a single one of them. And that explains this.
Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
No, sir. He said calmly. You wonder why my Harry Potter books are a mess. When Harry, Ron and Hermione are leaving their Defense Against the Dark Arts lesson, if you enhance the volume, you can hear another student saying, "I've got Professor Lupin next." Which of course is impossible, as Professor Lupin resigned last year and no longer worked at the school. Unless it's Hermione playing around with her time turner again. Oh no, wait, time turners weren't involved with the Goblet of Fire, that's why it actually makes sense and doesn't cause problems for the rest of the series. Neville is constantly overlooked throughout this series, and possibly no more than in this scene.
You know, if you're interested in plants, you'd be better off with Goshawk's Guide to Herbology. Do you know there's a wizard in Nepal who's growing gravity-resistant trees?
Neville, no offence, but I really don't care about plants.
Now, why would Neville think that Harry would be interested in a conversation about gravity-resistant trees? Maybe because they have something to do with how Quidditch rooms are created, and Neville knows that Harry loves Quidditch, and yet it's always Neville who's being treated like crap.
Why is it always me?
When Harry receives a letter from Sirius, he says that he couldn't risk sending Hedwig as the Ministry have been intercepting owls. Yet he signs the letter with his own name rather than using a code name like they did in the books. Not only that, he tells Harry to meet him in the Gryffindor common room at 1 o'clock on Saturday night. But there's no such thing as 1 o'clock on Saturday night. What he should have said was Saturday morning. In my Things You Miss in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone video, I pointed out that Harry switches seats in the Great Hall scene. Well, it looks like the filmmakers didn't learn their lesson, as this time it's Neville who is at first seen sitting next to Hermione, but a couple of shots later is on the other side of the table next to Dean. Dean himself is someone who brings up a few continuity errors, as when Seamus tells him to go get Harry another towel, he goes off to do so. But in literally the next shot, he is right back where he was, next to Harry. Which makes me wonder how Harry ended up getting that other towel. After the second task is finished, Dumbledore clearly says this.
However, seeing as Mr. Potter would have finished first, had it not been for his determination to rescue not only Mr. Weasley, but the others as well, we've agreed to award him second place.
But if you go back and watch it, Harry hadn't actually even tried to start saving anyone else before Cedric had set Cho free. The reason Cedric beats him is because when he arrives, Harry just watches him. Man, Harry could have walked this tournament if he didn't just spend half of his time staring at Cedric. Hermione spends most of her time with her face buried in a book, but were you paying attention to what she was reading when Fred and George tried to put their names in the Goblet of Fire? There may in fact be a reason why Hermione knew what Fred and George were about to do was not going to work. Because the book that she is halfway through is in fact a copy of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Man, if she had just made it to the end of the book before the third task, she could have saved Cedric's life. Or maybe she knew he was going to be killed and just decided to not tell anyone. Hashtag Hermione hates Twilight. As the Yule Ball required a lot of students to be dancing, all of the cast had to attend at least 5 dancing lessons. But most of these lessons took place while Daniel Radcliffe was filming his underwater scenes for the second task, so he ended up missing most of them. That's why most of the shots of Harry are from above the waist, as Daniel Radcliffe was just as bad at busting a move as Harry was made out to be in the books. We know that when Harry and Cedric grab the Triwizard Cup, they are transported to the graveyard where Voldemort's father was buried. Now, very few people would have picked up on it, but near Tom Riddle Sr.'s grave is a yew tree, and yew just so happens to be the material that Voldemort's wand is made from. Is it from the same tree? Who knows? Not Voldemort, that's for sure. He doesn't even have a nose. The fight between Harry and the Hungarian Horntail clearly caused quite a lot of damage to both Harry the Dragon and the Hogwarts grounds. Clearly Warner Brothers were worried that animal rights activists were going to be getting on their backs, so they decided to let us know that no dragons were harmed in the making of this film in the credits. And that concludes the list of things that you missed in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. If there was anything on this list that you didn't notice, make sure you leave a like on the video. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video in this series where I will point out all the things that you missed in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Until then, that's all from me for now, and I will see you guys next time. Think fast. If there was anything on this list that you didn't notice, make sure you click on the like button and comment. I did it again. I didn't do it in the last video, and I thought I was over it. But now everyone's going to start commenting word for word again. Great. I can't wait to see that in the comments.